Hi everybody, I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for joining this reading. This is really a reading for all the zodiac signs. Now, for those of you that are familiar with my channel, you will know that generally I discourage cross-watching. And the reason why I'm discouraging cross-watching is life is very much about you, and a lot of times we sort of give our power away in love by making the focus about somebody else. Now, what happens sometimes is when we do cross-watching is, so let's use this as an example. So I'm into somebody else and I know what that person's zodiac sign is. And then so what I'm doing is I'm looking at my tarot, my sort of, zodiac reading, and then I look at their sort of zodiac reading, and I'm trying to sort of create my own thing in between there. And of course, because the heart wants what it sort of wants, it's gonna create those things. But sometimes we think we're very clever with that, but in fact what you're really doing is sort of messing yourself up. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm using this beautiful deck that I've got, the Muse Tarot, which I love. I did a bit of an unboxing video for it, so if you want to have a look, it'll probably be the video that comes out just after or before this one, okay? And so, sorry. So what I'm doing in this one is, that you can actually go and look at the other sort of person's zodiac sign, because it's more about what they would like for you to know. All right. Now, of course, it's very different if you're familiar with your astrology, like your natal chart. Like, for example, I'm a Cancer sun, which means I'm a Cancerian. That's my zodiac sign. I've got my moon in Aquarius, which means that's sort of where my emotions is coming from. So I will definitely benefit from a, Aquarius reading as well, as long as I do it for myself. And then, of course, you want to sort of look at where your Venus is, because it's about love. But the strongest suggestion that I can really make to you, it would generally be, when it comes to looking at zodiacs, when it comes to looking at readings, look at your reading, look at your zodiac, because when you get your flow going, everything else will work out. The love will work out, everything else is going to work out when you are working out. All right. When we try to look at our stuff from other person's perspective, what we're really doing is we're giving our power away. And it's time to go and get that power back. And the way that you get that power back is by focusing on yourself. So in this reading, I'm going to do for all the different zodiac signs, because at this particular point in time that I'm recording, it's still we're still in the season of Leo. So I'm going to start with Leo, and I'm going to go all the way down the zodiac. So I'm going to go Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and we're ending off with, coincidentally, my zodiac sign, which is Cancer. All right. So this is going to be a very quick boom boom there. There's going to be timestamps down below. So, where I would generally say, don't go and look at the other person's stuff. If you maybe want to have just a little bit of insight into the other person's world, maybe you're kind of into a Pisces or something like that, and maybe you're a Scorpio and you don't sort of understand that sign too well, even though you're both water signs, then you can go and have a look at it and flip through it. But again, take what resonates for you and try your best not to sort of make something one effect. All right. Remember, these are general readings. It might not resonate for everyone. Take what resonates. If something resonates, claim that for yourself, and the rest, release it with peace and let it go. If you wanna, I do personal readings. You can contact me directly. We can decide on a time that that works best for both of us. Because I do also do spiritual regression hypnosis, which is longer sessions. There's a link down below in the description if you want to have a look at that. I'm going to start drawing the cards for you guys. I'm just going to draw 3 cards for every zodiac sign. And remember, it is general readings. Okay? All right. So as I'm drawing the cards, I'm just going to keep on speaking to you. I'm keeping them upside down so I don't see what they are. And then we're going to flip those around and we're going to show you as well. I did think of doing a thing where, where with my readings you just see the cards, because for me the reading is about you. It's not really about me, and people weren't exactly happy about it. So, well, yeah, you see my face. Okay. All right, so we're just about there. We're going to give it another bit of a shuffle. These cards are so beautiful. The lady that makes these, the Muse Tarot, also created the Lightseers Tarot, before this actually. And I ordered that for me and I'm waiting for it. In fact, I actually ordered the Muse Tarot first, and it's just amazing. It's very much for me almost sort of like the divine feminine to the divine male, which is Just absolutely beautiful. All right. Oh, sorry, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Adrian. I'm a intuitive healer. I practice holistic wellness. I also teach the tarot. I teach Reiki, and I've got a crystal healing workshop for sort of like how to create abundance coming at the end of September. There won't be a sign-up link to my newsletter in this video, but if you go forward into the week, I've already recorded for September 2020, then there's actually, you'll be able to do it via that one. Okay, so we're going to go with Leo first. All right, so this is sort of what they want you to know. So Leo is, we've got Queen of Inspiration, which is Wands. We've got some Swords and the Devil. Okay, so Leo sort of wants you to know, there with Queen of Inspirations, first card over there, they sort of want you to know that they, they're still very, very inspired to go for what is going to work for them, what's going to expand their life, what's going to make them smile, what's going to be good. They want to shine, but they want to shine in their own right. Sorry, the emphasis here is to shine, but to not outshine anybody else, and in actual fact, there might even be those sort of thoughts in the mind that's sort of saying to Leo at the moment, what gives you that right? Do you have the right to actually do that? Maybe you should tone yourself down a little bit. So, and then there's the Devil card. Leo might be holding himself back in a couple of ways still there, and also beginning to see what are the things that they are doing to hold themselves back, or how are they sort of withholding themselves from the incredible light and the incredible potential that their life can be. So that's sort of the trip that they are on at the moment. So that in relation obviously to love and to romance, when you think about that, Leos may not be so open to new relationships at the moment, and if they are, they might even be a little less sort of, just going for it than normal, because they want to be sure that they don't really feel like playing tricks anymore. They want to be sure that this is going to be a good flow for them. It's going to work for you, it's going to work for them. They're very much into longevity, setting up their lives, stepping into their power, and if they are in a relationship at the moment, you may sort of find that maybe they are a little bit less sort of present or active, they sort of almost sort of self-centered a little bit. It's really got nothing to do with you. It's more about them wanting to establish all the outside things, because what a lot of people don't always get about Leos is that they can be very focused sort of like on the pretty stuff, but sometimes so much that they actually neglect the the sort of responsibilities that they feel they need to do sometimes, and so they're very focused on that at the moment. And so if you're really into them, I would recommend giving them time. I promise you, they're seeing you. They're definitely seeing you. Okay, but give them time. Don't try to push them, because if you do push them and they start to make that evaluation of what are the things that might be holding them back at the moment, they may just come to the conclusion that you are one of the ones holding them back, and you don't really want that. Okay, lovely. Remember that it's a general guidance, and I also do personal readings if you would like to have that. You're more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I've got a weekly reading coming out for you every week. Number 2, we're going to Virgos, and this is the month where we're going into the season of Virgo. So to everybody who's having a birthday coming up, happy birthday. Alrighty, so Virgo, you've got the 2 of Voices, which is Swords. You have got the 10 of Materials, which is Pentacles, which is about manifestation. And you've got the Muse of Inspiration, which is basically the King of Inspiration, which is the King of Wands. All right. So I've been seeing this pattern in Virgo. Virgo, you're fed up. You're tired. You don't really want to be in the space anymore. You are on that space where you want things to work out. You want things to work out, you want things to shine, you want things to be beautiful. Virgo want things to go to reach a conclusion. They might feel that things have been dulling, nagging, blah, 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 blah. They don't want to do that anymore. They want stability, they want a platform. They know, something that people sometimes misunderstand about Virgo is that they would like to have an idea, a very firm idea of what their life is going to be like, when they wake up for the next 10 to 20 years, what it's going to be like as they go through the day, what's it going to be like when they go to bed. They feel very sort of discordant when they don't have that. But in the same token, because when they have that and they've got that foundation going, then they're quite happy, in fact, to be very open to new ideas and suggestions, probably more than others. And then, so sometimes when people say like, Virgos don't, consider different alternatives. I'm like, no, you're kind of off the mark there. Because at this particular point in time, the reason why Virgo might be feeling sort of discordant at the moment is because, especially when it comes to love, they know what it is that they want to have, but, they're very sort of concerned about losing themselves inside of the situation. So they don't really want that to happen. And that is why their focus at this particular point in time, they may seem cold as a block of ice in the North Pole. But the reason why they have that is because they understand how emotions can sometimes throw them all over the place, and because their goal is to get to this light, to the stability where the tree can just effortlessly shine. It's like when you do plant roses, when you plant, you're going to make sure that the ground is well and it's fertile and you do all the things that you need to do. And, if you're obviously a Virgo, you're probably going to have the ground tested or something like that. But you're going to make sure that everything is well there. You plant the roses, and even when you don't see it maybe coming up, you know that it's there, you know that it's growing. And so Virgo is looking at what are the things at the moment that are that sort of like the plan may be good already, but they want to see what are the things there that could possibly, boomerang the plan going forward. And if you're in any sort of romantic relationship with them, you can be 100% certain the way they're watching the rose bush, that's the way they're watching you. They want to make sure that not only does a connection complement their soul, but it also complements your soul. So that whatever you have together, that when the different elements come together, instead of it being contrived, it can flow. Because at the moment things are a little bit, do I go this way or that way? And they want to sort of, have the way clear for where it is that they're going to flow to, so that you kind of have that perfect yin-yang sort of balance going over there. So very sort of the focus where Virgo is at the moment. All right. Of course, remember, general reading, and if you want to, you can also have a personal reading with me. All right. If you want to, you can subscribe to the channel. There's a video coming out for you every week. Then we are looking at Libra. Libra is very much into new horizons, new expansions. Let me see, inspiration, Two of Wands. Okay, Three of Materials, stability, not just physical stability, but the things that really make the heart smile, that makes the soul dance, that give you that sort of stability for things to flow. Queen of Emotions. Libras might probably feel at the moment, especially with everything going on in the world, everything is sort of upside down, I mean, when you sort of tip the scales just a little bit, Libra can feel a little bit out of sync sometimes, you're out of sorts. The whole scale of the world is upside down at the moment. To Libra, there's not even a scale. There is no balance. It is very, very overwhelming. And what is beautiful is that they are looking for inspiration inside at the moment. Many are going inside for the first time, or some are doing it more than they would ever do it before, because there isn't that sort of outside, on a sort of balance that could normally be found in the world. I also feel that a lot of Libras at the moment are looking at astrology, which is actually an incredible thing, because my life really started to change when I started to look at astrology, because what you understand is that there's this whole universe out there, and everything this universe does has an impact on you. And I think it really shifts your mind when you begin to understand that everything that you do also has an impact on all of that. It's all part of you. And so Libra is starting to look for that balance inside of them, because they can't find it outside anymore. They can't find it where they would generally find it. And it can, it's a bit wild when you want to think about it almost in this sense. Imagine that you are you know, you sort of like like a person who does maybe like commerce, for example, you know, any other sort of like you know, running or marathons or whatever, like you're a sports person, and you know, this is sort of the standard that you set, and you're on your way to the Olympics maybe, and so you now wake up one morning and you only have half a leg. You other one and a half is gone, but you're still expected to function optimally. You know what I mean? It's that sort of wildness that is going on with Libra at the moment. So they're trying to find that balance within, and they could even be more prone to sort of outbursts at the moment, ways that are unreasonable, that they themselves might not be good knowing what's going on with their emotions. So it might be a very overwhelming time for them right now. So if you're going to want to be with them, you're going to have to be really, really patient, and you're going to have to understand many times that the heavy sort of emotions that they might be portraying could actually have nothing to do with you. Okay. Because they're looking for that balance, they're looking for that new sort of balance, because they can't find it in where they and you know the what they would generally find it in, and they are open to that. Which incredibly, if you play your cards right now, please, 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 don't go and run with this. But if you play your cards right, in other words, when you can really be yourself, when you can really be genuine right now, in a sort of space that feels very not even fickle, maybe to Libra it can feel betraying. If you can be real in all this chaos, they can then, you know, recognize some kind of truth within you. Now, don't try to be real, because they're going to know that you're not real, all right? They're looking for that inner sort of balance, and I wouldn't really say trying to get rid of certain things. It's just more in the sense of what isn't working right now, okay? And need to then move from there. All right, and remember that it's a general reading. You can have a personal reading if you want. You're also more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I've got a weekly reading that comes out for you every week. All right, Scorpio. Scorps, look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you. Scorpio's got it going on. They've got it going on. They've got it going on. You got it going on, okay? Let me just get it here. Sorry about that. So Scorpio, the Fool. Right like that. You know, typical Scorpio. Here I am. Let me know you what's happening. The Fool, the Death card, the Three of Voices, which is the Three of Swords. So Scorpio's sort of done crying. Okay, they've done crying, they've done their crying, they've done their everything that they needed to do. They with the Fool now, they are moving, and the Fool, obviously, it encompasses the entire journey of the tarot. They're moving away from the things that are not working. They're moving into the magic. You know, as you can see over there, there's beautiful desert, and I love deserts personally. So there's the beautiful desert, you know, there's a space, there's the timeless space. And for any of you that's ever been, you know, spend a day in the desert, which is an incredible experience. I got to do that a couple of years ago when I was in Abu Dhabi. It's like time doesn't exist. You know, you're in this beautiful space where anything is basically possible. And Scorpio's busy moving in that space at the moment, from where it feels that you know that anything is possible, into the space where everything is actually possible. So whatever they want to have, it is actually there right now. They are so on a mission of their own right now, like so on a mission of their own right now. It's such a positive thing, and they've got this thing where they become incredibly maybe sweet at the moment, you know, because for Scorpio, the thing is that the more your life, and really this is such a good lesson to learn for everybody, the more their life is about themselves, the more it just sort of works out, okay? You can see where with the Death card, they are moving. So if you look at the Death card next to the Fool, and I mean, on top of that, the Three of Swords, these are basically the same thing over and over and over. And the fact that it comes in threes makes it even more powerful, because it's that balance, that mind, body, soul balance, that the Death card it's about moving away from the things that are not working. It may have worked before. Generally, it's the kind of things that didn't work before. And then you're moving away from there. It's like, it's not even so much a thing of what you are consciously doing yourself. It's more sort of a universal thing that's happening at the moment. You are seeing the ways that you held yourself back. You are seeing the ways that are not working. They're getting out of that very sort of almost sort of stubborn way that they can have sometimes of but I want it to be that way, that's why it must be that way. They're moving away from that, which thank goodness, Scorpius. It's such a good thing. Now you just wanna sort of stay on that, because what is wonderful at the moment, what you are using, and I know that you guys came through quite a bit of a difficult period over there, and so what you want to know right now is the Scorpio's got no time for nonsense. So you've got no time for nonsense. They've got no time for your nonsense. You're going to come with your shenanigans. They're not even going to bother to tell you to leave. They're just going to be like, whatever, you're there, you're not there, whatever. If you are going to be playing games, for example, in a relationship, they're going to know about it. They're not even going to bother letting you know they know about it. They're just going to get somebody else, and then eventually they'll tell you like, oh, but you did this and this and that. Okay, so you don't want to be playing with them at the moment. They're going to know that because they're also seeing how they were holding themselves back before, very much maybe sort of with like victim sort of like thoughts and those type of things, and they're moving away from there. Okay, beautiful healing. Remember that it's a general reading. And I do also do personal readings if you wanna, or you can subscribe to my channel. There is a weekly reading that is coming up for you. Sagittarius. Okay, let's do it from the top as I did all the other ones. So 9 of materials. Look at you, focused. Okay. 6 of materials, very focused, and 4 of materials, very focused. All right. So Scorpio is very, very, very focused right now, and they focus on the future and they focus on the stability of the future. Now, this is quite interesting because what could happen at the moment, Sagittarius's heart is more open to love and to romance and to settling down, which you might generally be, because Sagittarius, you can be a bit of a restless soul. You want to do this, you want to do that, let's try this, screw it, that's not working, blah 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 blah. And there is more a sense of, there is a sort of a willingness at the moment to really open the heart to love, to romance, to twin flame. There's a I'm going to do this, I'm going to give this a try. For Sagittarius, this is the next big adventure. Okay, this is really the next big adventure that they are taking, and this next big adventure is on romance. And you might even find that if Sagittarius, maybe you've been in a committed relationship, they've been maybe in a marriage, even in a job, they will, where they may have been a little bit guarded before, they're really opening their hearts right now. They're really sort of giving this life thing a chance. And they're not giving it a chance in the sense that I'm going to try this, if it doesn't work, I'm just going to withdraw again. They're actually giving it a chance. They're looking at the long-term sort of things. They're looking back and see, what did I do before? Because, and this is beautiful, this is how Sagittarius mind often operates. So this is where that's what I want to have. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to look back. What are the things that I did before that didn't work out? That I tried something kind of similar to this, that I wanted this, so I tried it and it didn't work out. What did I do there? How did I, sort of mess it up? And then also, even going back further, where I feel that Sagittarius at the moment might be very open to, speaking to a friend, speaking to somebody whose opinion they trust, maybe like a relative or a parent, or a therapist, somebody like me, for example, who's a, like NLP life coach, but somebody who can sort of point them in the direction without being biased and also without dimming their light. So that's what they're looking at the moment. They're trying to get an understanding, especially, I won't say just romance, but romance falls into the category of what are the things that I've done in life that hasn't worked out, that brought me sort of to this sort of like, to the potholes, and how do I get out of that? So that's where they are at the moment. If you're interested in them romantically, now's a good time. Now's a very good time, because they're open to new, beautiful things and taking those risks and chances that, sometimes they wouldn't actually take. All right. And so that is obviously that's a general reading. Remember, I also do personal readings. If you want to, you can contact me down below. We can see a time that suits both of us. And you're also more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. There's a reading coming out for you every week. From the time of this reading coming out, the September 2020 readings are coming out next. Okay. Now we're going to go to Capricorn. Whoa. Boldly moving forward. Boldly moving forward. Actually, like more like merging forward. Okay. So let me show you the cards that we have. We've got the Page of Emotions. Lots of emotions flowing through the place these days. Page of Emotions, Muse of Materials, which is the King of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Definitely moving forward here, merging forward. Capricorn can sometimes, you know, be experiencing their emotions very much inside the body. So there might have been a lot of things that, you know, that they have internalized. A lot of stress, a lot of worries, a lot of sort of hoping for things to work out best, having that hope in the world and in humanity and that sort of thing, and caused a lot of stress, maybe overlooked a lot of things. And they realize that this is not really the best thing to do. So there's a lot of introspection taking place at the moment with you know, with Capricorn, looking at and in a very loving way, which in other times may have seemed kind of inconceivable to them. You know, this now they're looking at very lovingly at themselves, at what is it that's happening inside of me, what is happening in my emotions, what is happening in my heart, what is happening in my head, what are the things that I've been in denial about, you know, because they want to merge forward, they want to move forward, they want to move forward into their potential. They don't want to pretend that there's no more problems. Okay. When it comes to love, they may be, you know, especially if they're working on themselves and they feel that there's a lot of healing, inner balancing that needs to be done, they may not be that completely open to a relationship right now, for the simple reason that they realize that, you know, that maybe they're not the best candidate for that right now. But also, I feel that if you speak to them openly and honestly, not with tricks, but speak to them openly and honest about how you feel, they may explain to you that they need some time right now just for themselves. But when they explain that to you, I need you to understand, even if you're inside a relationship and they may be time for a little bit of time out, they're not really asking for cheating time. What they are saying is that they need a little bit of space, because they need to, they sort of need to give themselves an equal chance to find out what exactly is going on inside. What is sort of the DNA of my emotions? They need to sort of find that out right now. And that is really what they're going on, because the vision is to move forward in a healthy way. Okay. So what is the DNA of emotions? That's for Capricorn. And then Aquarius. Remember, okay, so Aquarius is 8 of materials, which is 8 of pentacles, 9 of inspiration, which is the 9 of wands, and the Knight of materials, which is also the Knight of pentacles. So Aquarius wants balance right now. They want balance, they want flow, they want stability. They're sick and tired of being everyone's savior. They sort of like, you know what, I'm going to live for me now. I'm tired of being everybody's savior. I'm tired of being everybody's sort of, you know, platform and advisor. And it doesn't mean that they don't have love and that I want to see you succeed, because, you know, anybody who really knows an Aquarius knows that they always want what's best for you in this world. But it's more about some of them, you know, they've given away so much of themselves that it's almost like they sort of lost themselves. So now when they sort of go and look for themselves, they're like, where am I? You know, like, where am I actually? Who am I actually? Because they very much lost themselves, and they're looking for that, they're looking for that inner spark, you know, that inner inspiration that they know is there. But by having almost, you know, picked up the pieces for so many people and been there for so many people and like sort of like, you know, just help so many people along the way, even though they're happy for it, they realize that it's sort of like the, you know, like that analogy of your lamp that sort of burns. It's like the lamp is dry, you know, it can't really burn anymore, and even the wick is sort of dry. The thing is brittle. There needs to be some time here to reassess things, to get things better on, because you need to understand, where did I, almost in a sense of, where did I give my power away? And I'm going to have to get either that power back, or, you know, I'm going to have to somehow recharge my power in a different way so that I can move forward, because Aquarius, in many ways, they've sort of been burning out there for a while, okay? And they just not in the mood to do it anymore. They were like, I need to go find my inner shine. I need to go find my inner spark. You know, so it's either the old shine back, it's a new shine that I'm getting, but there got to be a shine. Okay, there got to be a shine, there got to be a shine, there got to be a shine. This mundane sort of blah blah existence just doesn't work out. Sorry, when it comes to relationships, You're going to have your stuff together. If you're going to come there with low vibes and you're just going to want to try and see, if you can maybe like sneak in a little bit sideways. Now, this may surprise some people because before, Aquarius can have a very sort of rescue mentality sometimes. And because they want you to succeed to the best of their ability, and because they pay such good attention to life, they can see details, so they can see your potential, and they know how to best assist you. But sometimes people like to take advantage of that, and they want to sort of, slide in sideways and see how they can, sort of take advantage of that. They've always seen you a mile away, and where they would have, said before, let's see what I can do for you. They're going to be like, no, bye. No, don't even speak to the hand. Bye. Go speak to another hand. Okay. All right, perfect. So remember that it's a general reading for the sign of Aquarius. You are more than welcome to get a personal reading from me if you want. You can also subscribe to my channel. I have got a weekly reading coming out for you every week. Pisces. Ace of Inspiration, which is wands. Oh, you got 4 cards. Everybody got 3 cards. You got 4 cards. Okay, you sneaky sneak. Why not? It's balanced. 2 flowing. That's why in 2 flowing that way, like the fishes. Okay. 4 of Emotions, which is wands. 4 of Materials, which is Pentacles, and 7 of Voices, which is Swords. Need the balance. Okay. So Pisces is basically there at the point where they realize, you know what? Sort of like, and this is sort of like universal, something that would have happened, some sort of intervention or something. They're like, I'm not really honoring myself, This is not even a thing about your cup being half empty or anything like that. They don't even know where the cup is, which is interesting because when you look at the next one, you actually see the cup there. That's sort of like an outline of the cup. They don't even know where the cup is at the moment, and they realize, I'm going to have to go find my cup, Yeah, I think for Pisces it was a very difficult period lately because with all the emotions flowing, Pisces is definitely one of the, probably the most susceptible to energy, energy, whatever happens around them. And they're sort of like these natural empaths. And, things have been a bit rough for you lately. They've really been rough. And it's almost like they're fearing that things might be even, that might become even more rough. So there might be quite a misunderstanding at the moment that, generally when you have a problem, something's heavy in your mind, you can just sort of come to Pisces and they will sit and they will listen and they will be there with you and they will, they will hold you on the shoulder and they'll be like, oh, there, it's going to be okay. Many of them might sort of surprise you at the moment because they're not really into that right now. And the reason why they're not into that right now is because many of them, they just listen, they're gonna crack. They really can't listen to one more problem. They can't have another personal problem of their own. They can't listen to another person's problem. It's not that they don't have compassion. They just can't. They don't have what it takes to even sit there and pretend to listen. They really just can't. It's not possible for them right now, and they are focusing on actually getting back to that point. So if you sort of have maybe some episode with a Pisces at the moment and you're like, oh my goodness, you're so different now, you're so cold, what happened? I never knew that you're this way. The reason why they do it, and they might actually have a lot of difficulty explaining that sometimes, is that it's not that they don't really want to be there for you, they just really can't be there for you right now. And because there's so much emotion that's happening, it's almost like they don't have the capacity to explain it to you. They just really can't, because then you're going to ask some questions and then they just can't. Okay. They're going inside, they're looking at what are those things that are, there with the 7 of Voices, the 7 of Swords. What are the things that I need to let go of? How is it that I've been spending my energy that is not working, that is not balancing, that is not flowing, that is, that is sort of just keeping me awake at night, making me feel weak, making my stomach turn, it's just not the best sort of experience for Pisces right now. In fact, it's probably downright hell for Pisces right now. And they may also find that a lot of them, they want to really help a lot of people, but in the same token, by wanting to help so many people, with the purest intention, they also absorbed a lot of the negative energy. The energy doesn't serve them positively, and they realize that they sort of have to separate from that, and it's a physical, almost kind of separation that is required for that to take place. In relationships, there may be a lot of breakups with Pisces taking, place at the moment, where they'd be like, nope, 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 So there might be a lot of breakups actually at the moment, and this might sound a little counteractive, or counterproductive, really. But if a Pisces breaks up with you right now, let you go. If I were you, I will give them the space that they might very nicely tell you that they need, or they may scream it at you and may throw something at you. I will say that I need that space. They will say that they need that space right now. I will give them that space respectfully. Maybe give them, your person, but give them 3, 4, 5 days, not too much that they feel disrespected. Reach out with a letter, reach out with a text, give them flowers, whatever. Let them know. I don't pretend to understand how you feel, because please don't lie to them. They're gonna know. I don't pretend to understand that I know how you feel. But letting you know that I'm here for you, is there anything that I can do to make this better? Okay? And they just generally need some space at the moment, because they're probably feeling like the whole world's on top of them. Okay? Right, perfect. So that is a general reading. Remember that I also do personal readings, and if you want to, you're also more than welcome to subscribe to the channel. I've got a weekly reading coming up for you. Aries. Look at Aries, number 10, the wheel. This is the wheel of fortune. Now, this is what I like about Aries. Aries jumpstarts everything, okay? They jumpstart absolutely everything. And the thing with Aries at the moment is that, they will see opportunities where other people are not seeing opportunities. Ace of Materials, opportunities for abundance. And Page of Materials, how to go for those opportunities of abundance. So where the world may see things as absolute calamity at the moment, you might typically find, and this might really annoy you so much that you just kind of want to throttle them, but Aries has kind of gone through the motions, so they felt what's happening. Oh my goodness, it's like, it's like this and like this and like that, and like, okay, how do I start something new from this? They can be very proactive like that. And if you don't always understand what they're doing, you can find it incredibly annoying. Whereas, and I think that the thing about Aries is when they start all this new type of stuff, they like to take you along. And a lot of people sometimes feel that you are forcing them. You say, let's jump on a train and let's go to Australia, or Australia, let's go to New York, or whatever, and they can often be very sort of thinking about things, very long term, but also step by step. We'll deal with it when we get there, if it happens type of thing. And so they will say to you, let's go, come, let's do it, and then a lot of times you may feel inclined to actually do it with them. And then when things don't work out, you say, but you brought me here. And they're like, what are you talking about? You didn't have to come with. And then there's a whole misunderstanding taking place over there. So understand that even when Aries says to you right now, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, what they're really meaning is, I think there's a great opportunity. I'd like you to go with me. But even if you don't, they just really need your support. Okay. In fact, when Aries goes out and they go all these new sort of bold and bombastic things that they do, which is so admirable. When they want to take you, well, it's actually quite a compliment, because it means that they believe in you. All right. They're looking at abundance. A lot of Aries is looking at the moment at, especially if you've got family, you've got dependents, loved ones. You're sort of looking at, okay, so everybody seems to be falling apart. I can't really be falling apart, because if I'm falling apart, then everybody's falling apart. What do I do to help everybody? So when people start getting their wits together and they realize that the business of life still needs to be lived, then, then I've already been sort of, proactive about those things. So not just for them, but for everybody else as well. So you might see them being very, very busy at the moment. And I think if you look at people sort of, like if you're very much into astrology, like people's mannerism sort of things, and you look at Aries at the moment, it could kind of be easily to actually mistake them for a Gemini, because they've got that go, go, go sort of energy. Okay. But at this moment, they are talking their talk, they are walking their talk, And, you know, when they walk the talk and the talk doesn't work, they're going to say to you, listen, this is not working out. They're going to drop it. They're going to start. They will have a couple of backup options, valuable backup options. When it comes to love, listen, if you're going to come across and you're going to be a very good match for them, you're going to be on board with them, you're going to want to grow with them. And even, you know, while they take care of everybody else, you're going to be the one taking care of them. That's it. All right. But if you're going to try to hold them back and slow them down and anything like that, they're going to drop you like a hot potato. Okay, they're going to drop you like a stone in water. All right. So that is Aries, and then remember that it's a general reading. I also do personal readings, and if you want to, you're more than welcome to also subscribe to my channel. There's a weekly reading coming out for you. Right. Taurus. Taurus, 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 Taurus. Page of Voices. Okay, which is swords, is those voices in the mind. Five of Inspiration, the things that are not working out. The Three Spilled Milk, and the Three of Inspiration, which is also the Three of Wands. So Taurus is looking at doing things better. Okay, they are looking at what are all the things that are going through in my mind? What are the things that are, what are the voices in my mind? What are the thoughts in my mind? What are the, you know, instead of just kind of almost like following, almost like the convention of their thoughts, at the moment, Taurus is going like, huh, is that actually a good thing to follow? Was that ever a good thing to follow? You know, were they ever really my friend? Did I actually ever have my best interests at heart? Was this ever the best job for me? Okay, so it pays for this and this and that, but does it honor my soul? You know, does it actually make me happy? A lot of Taurus at the moment, they're really sort of realizing their mortality, you know, how precious life is. Those sort of inner chatter that they were, you know, numbing with whatever they were doing, you know, whether they get very much into a project or a person, or, you know, they go out dancing or lunch or, you know, whatever, or fashion. They're like, no. What is going on here? What is really going on here? What is sort of the pattern of denial that I'm keeping myself in? Okay. And also they're looking at a lot of things at the moment that, you know, that sort of, spilled milk, basically, situations that didn't work out, people that didn't work out. There's a lot of focus on that. There was a lot of holding on, not wanting to let go, sort of feeling that you're honoring the emotions, that type of thing. Now they realize that, you know, can't do that now. That was maybe not a glorious waste of my time, but it's almost like a lot of Taurus will say to themselves at the moment, I need to grow up. And they're looking forward and they're looking at what do I like my world to look like? What do I want my life to look like? A year from now, what would I want my life to look like? Taurus don't typically, you know, obviously depending on what happens in the rest of the chart, but they don't typically look at what do I want my life to be in 5 years from now, but what do I want my life to be in 6 months or in a year from now, okay? Or 2 years from now, even if they're very visionary. Because they understand that life changes, and if they plan too far ahead, then they actually sort of set themselves up for failure, because once they sort of get onto something, they can be like a dog with a bone, all right? And so, but they're looking forward to their life, what is going to make it happy, what is going to make it work. In relationships, they really want to be, they're really looking at being the best version of themselves to be inside of the relationship, because many Taurus at the moment may feel that they're sort of so lost in their own thoughts and, you know, almost of self-perception in a little bit of a way, you know, without meaning to do so, not always looking at things, that they're like, oh my goodness, I'm like a stranger to myself. I really need to look at myself right now. And so they're doing that inner work, but when they come out there and they realize that maybe, you know, you were the one that was always there for them, they might be very sort of open to that, you know, to a relationship, romantic sort of thing, that next step. Because Taurus likes to know who they're dealing with, and that's typically, they love to, for them, it's not unnatural to have a friend for a long time, and then that friendship goes into the next level. Okay. Then we've got Gemini. So Gemini is the Six of Emotions, which is the Cups, the Empress, and the Nine of Emotions. Okay. Gemini, they're looking for new abundance. And Gemini's perception, like everybody's got a different perception of abundance. You know, when it comes to abundance, it sort of depends on what do you look at as abundance. Gemini's got a very different sense of abundance. They want to be able to be free. They want to be able to be themselves. They want to be able to express themselves poetically. They want to be able to be, they love to be in a space where they can be all wild and, spontaneous. But if they need to get away from the world and sort of cover the plate up a little bit, they want to be able to just very gently sort of scrape the things off the plate without anybody knowing about it, and switching on the food processor. So there's a lot of looking inside. There's a lot of introspection happening at the moment with Gemini. They may be a lot more quiet than they normally are. A lot of the escapism that they would usually do, even if it's not unavailable, they may not be so attracted to it anymore, because it's almost like, Gemini's almost having this big sort of awakening at the moment, where they go like, oh my goodness, all these things that that I may have depended on to get away from the world, to feel that I need to deal with the world, these things can be taken away from me. So they're really looking inside at the moment and looking to find that stability inside. Okay. What does abundance mean to them? What does abundance mean to me? What does abundance mean to that person? How do I fit into the world? How do I make sure that I don't get sort of caught unawares again by everything that's happening around me? So they're really looking to find a true inner spark, okay? That even when things are not going as beautiful as they'd like them to go, that they're still able to find that balance, that a lot of them suddenly felt themselves, it's almost like the carpet was ripped off from underneath them, and it really wasn't a pleasant experience. And when it comes to love, yep, Gem babies like to be in love. They might actually be more open to being in love at the moment, because they're actually looking for that emotional stability, that emotional inner support. Okay. Then Cancer. Cancer feel the need to escape. Let's look at this. So they've got the Muse of Emotions, which is the King of Emotions, which is the King of Cups. Want to be emotionally fulfilled. The Five of Voices, which is Swords, and the Eight of Voices. So very few people might be feeling more trapped at the moment than Cancer. But they focus on how exactly it is that they don't want to feel. They may be very sort of dark at the moment. But it's also because they know exactly how they want to feel, and they realize that they're not feeling the way that they want to feel. And, it's sort of, Cancers typically, they sort of maybe, like to feel their feelings sometimes first. So they know exactly what it is they feel. So they understand exactly what it is that they're moving from. To the outsider at the moment, if they have to sort of explain what they're doing, it might sound incredibly dramatic. Okay, let me just write this down. It might sound very dramatic to other people at the moment when they explain what they are actually busy doing. But to them, that makes absolute perfect sense. Now, Cancers can get to a point where they get incredible clarity. If you've been low vibing with them, where they sometimes can give you 375 million second chances, your second chances are now done. Okay, very focused on themselves, very focused on their futures, and when it comes to romance, they might be very open to something new right now, but where sometimes Cancer can beat somebody and their heart just goes like kavoop, 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 like a sunshine. They'll be like, let me look at the situation first. Let me feel this on me. Let me see how this is sitting with me. Very much an Aquarius sort of approach before I actually go ahead and do that. All right. General reading that for Cancer. Remember that if you want, you can also have a personal reading from me, and you're more than welcome to subscribe to the channel as well. I've got a weekly reading coming out for you. From my heart to yours. Namaste. Love and light.